American English, American English. Teach and learn American English.
Welcome to Teaching Tips from American English. In this teaching tip topic, Kevin McCaughey will examine how English is changing and some tips for teaching and learning in the global English world. Welcome, Kevin.
Hi, and welcome. I'm Kevin McCaughey in Kiev, Ukraine, and I'm excited to talk about changing English, what teachers should know. So let's take a look at today's goals. First, we'll see how English is changing, and then we'll include some tips for teaching and for re-examining the way we think of the role of the English teacher. And no surprise here with tip number one. It is to keep up with the technology as best you can. Now, I understand that not all teachers can or even want to keep up with the changing technology. It's just too difficult. There are too many new mobile apps, massive open online courses, and whatnot. So why try? Well, when these new technologies become so attractive to our students, they begin to use them. And then we start lagging behind. If you see your students using their phones to access English online, using cool applications to practice English, ask them to show you how. Most of us, meanwhile, are still working in traditional classroom arrangements like these, with desks and chairs. But even in these classroom landscapes, we're beginning to see the use of computers, tablets, and especially mobile phones. Mobile phones and other technologies give us access to information in a different way than traditional textbooks or newsprint. These are often referred to as new literacies, and they include these things you see on the screen. Social media like Facebook and text messaging, etc. Let's look at these features of the new literacies. They happen in real time. Students connect to other living people. And the new literacies also include writing. In fact, students are probably writing more. They are just doing so outside of the classroom. This kind of writing is alive. When they post on social media, they expect a response, sometimes very soon. When students write an official paper for a teacher, they realize that the writing will not live on. The teacher is the end of the line, and perhaps there's no response from the teacher, or maybe just one response. But in the new literacies, students have a sense of audience. They are writing for real people. Tip 2, engage students with infographics or visual texts. Digital technologies make reading more accessible. Not all cities, schools, or even homes around the world have a library, but a mobile phone can be its own library. Your students have a chance to read an enormous amount of text or textual graphics like the one you see here on their cell phones. And the trend is to mix visuals with text. You see how the information in this infographic is really carefully organized. Imagine if all of this was in paragraph form. It would look something like this. Both forms are useful, but you can really see the appeal of the infographic. So technological advances and the resulting new literacies are compelling us to re-examine the way we teach. But there's one other big change that has been occurring. People are learning English everywhere, all over the planet. And in many of the places, there's a question, what English are we learning? Which English do we use for our model? British, American, Australian, Nigerian? Think about your school, your region, your country. Is there a preference? Well, it's not something that we need to worry about because all English models are valid. We can use English to communicate with people from countries all over the world, native-speaking countries and non-native speaking countries. Often we highlight the differences, as you can see in this American English infographic. But do we need to ask students to differentiate between British and English or whatever form? No, I don't think so. Let's just accept both spellings. Let's accept that there can be two words for the same meaning too, as in the case of boot and trunk for parts of a car. Let's not put the burden on students of making them memorize which is British and which is American. It's all English. And besides, to highlight the differences is to ignore the huge amount of similarities that make British and American understandable to people all over the world. So wherever you live, your form of English is valid. You use it to communicate. It's an international tool, kind of like a passport. It provides a means to communicate with others in many countries, and it opens doors of opportunity for education and for business. So be proud of your English. And moreover, if you are a non-native speaking teacher of English, and if you're listening to this video, you probably are, you have some advantages over the native speakers. You know your students, and you know the educational system. You know their native languages, most likely. You're likely to be the best teacher for your group of students. So that's where we stand. Due to technological advances and demographic changes, the English language and the way we teach English is changing. But don't let that bother you. English has always been changing, like all languages. So embrace it and don't worry. So to sum up, don't worry that English is changing, and be proud of your English wherever you are learning it. Keep up with the technology if you can. And consider those new literacies. They're great tools for the classroom. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to check out the other great videos for teachers and learners on the American English YouTube channel.
To check out other great teaching tip videos, be sure to subscribe to our American English YouTube channel. You can find resources for teachers on the American English website by clicking on the link listed here. And if you haven't already, be sure to like us on the American English for Educators Facebook page.